Well, well, well. It's that time of the year again. Spooky season, ooh. And because it's the spooky season, it would be really appropriate to cover something truly creepy and spooky on the channel. Right? Actually, no, I wanted to be unique this year and cover Bear Party Adventure. Exactly the kind of palate cleanser we need right now. But, you know what? Covering this mod with cute bears in it right now feels wrong somehow. And instead, something else came on my path. Oh my goodness! Could this be the stuff that Breadman, the creator of the Entropy Zero series, worked on before he did all that? Yeah. Before Entropy Zero, Breadman worked on a series of maps called Ghosthunt. There are 3 in total, and you know what? I think the bear game can wait for a little bit. Let's give into the season and cover Breadman's Ghosthunt maps instead. Let's get into it. LambdaGeneration. Before I get into the first map, let me explain a few things. In Ghosthunt, you roam through various locations, collecting various different things in order to beat the maps. But there's hauntings, ghosts, creatures, and other scary things in the way, so perfect for Halloween. The original Ghosthunt maps were released for Garry's Mod, which allowed the maps to be played by you and your friends and for props to be spawned and etc. But I'm actually playing these maps in a slightly different way. I downloaded a mod on ModDB called Breadman's Ghosthunt mod, which was released at the tail end of 2016. This Half-Life 2 Episode 2 mod made by Breadman himself includes all the Ghosthunt maps that he made into a nice little package with a hub world connecting them all up. The maps are fully playable inside of this package, but as you can probably imagine, multiplayer doesn't work here. Don't worry though, I think playing the maps all alone really increased the spooky vibes for me. Oh, hi. If after this video you get the urge to play these maps yourself or with friends, you can still get the maps for Garry's Mod as well. I'll make sure to include links to both the Gmod versions of the maps as well as the packaged single-player version you're about to see me play. Oh, and one more thing. This package also includes some alpha content for another mod that Breadman was working on called the Hardly Asylum. I won't go into this project in too much detail in this video though, as I want to keep it focused on the Ghosthunt maps. But according to Breadman, who I talked to for this video, Hardly Asylum was dropped in favor of the Entropy Zero series as he found it to be a more interesting story to pursue. This is the very first Ghosthunt map released all the way back in 2009. And it takes place in some kind of abandoned hospital. Well, abandoned by humans, at least. There's definitely something, or multiple somethings, inhabiting the space still. What the fuck? Oh. Where did, Okay, that's normal. The history of this first Ghosthunt map is actually quite interesting. Breadman decided to create the very first Ghosthunt map as part of his final major for his degree, essentially wanting to build an environment that included events that truly occurred randomly, with the social study of players coming across those events purely coincidentally. The reason Breadman made the map for Garry's Mod in particular instead of releasing it standalone was because he wanted this map to be experienced by multiple people. Gmod already had a robust multiplayer system built in, so that worked out. The goal of the map is to just explore and take in the sights. There really isn't an objective, and well, that was the intention. I suppose the map is just over whenever you feel like you've seen enough. Ghosthunt 1 starts you off at this control station where you can see various camera feeds of the locations that the map has on offer. If you were playing the map with a friend, maybe you could station them here so they can keep an eye on the place while you explore. There are also a bunch of items here you can use in the field, like this ghost box that lets through ghost noises every once in a while. Something to do with watches? this ghost detector that can detect anomalies before they happen, and there's even this movable camera. And yes, it actually works. The camera feed will actually be displayed on a monitor, so your friend could potentially watch you waddle through the place from the comfort of the control room. Or you could place the camera somewhere, go back to the control room and see if anything happens there while you're gone. Once you exit the control room though and start exploring, you'll quickly notice that the map is actually pretty big. There are a bunch of winding hallways, rooms to explore, and, of course, scares to be scared of. Oh, what the hell? Locations include a cafeteria with a kitchen and even a freezer you could get inside of. Luckily, the ghosts don't decide to trap you inside though. There is also this main hall with a very high ceiling and a broken down elevator. You know, I have a feeling someone dropped down here. I'm pretty sure the scaffolding down there didn't used to be in shambles when I first got here, but okay. There is also a morgue that is definitely not the most haunted place of this entire building. No, mate, no! And there is, of course, the room with the baby doll. Okay, I immediately regret doing that. Why? What? Hold on. Why? You can't have a horror map without the room with the baby doll. Now, most scares that this map had to offer honestly got me pretty good. Even the weaker ones got a reaction out of me, but I will admit some of them do end up repeating a good amount of time and they do eventually, of course, lose their edge. I guess that's natural though if you end up playing this map for a while. There is no objective after all, so you end up just wandering about in the end. One repetitive scare that just kept on happening was this stalker jump scare. In the end, it was so unscary that it really didn't faze me anymore, and it just became a bit annoying to be honest. Oh, come on. Okay, it's starting to become a little cheap now. But hey, if it's your first time playing through this map, then I'm sure it'll give you the scares that you want. Just know that after a while, it could become a little old, especially if you've discovered all the locations already. When the scares start to feel a bit numb, it's probably time to involve a friend and have a little fun with them. So yeah, Ghosthunt 1 is a good starting off point for the series and all in all a pretty successful experiment. All it needs, in my opinion, is more stuff to do. Like some kind of an objective. And luckily, that is exactly what we're getting. In 2011, Ghosthunt 2 released due to heavy demand. For this new iteration, Breadman worked together closely with the now defunct Facepunch forums to really create something that they would want to play. According to Breadman, he had a few threads up there where he would post updates on the map, and people would suggest stuff for him to add, things for him to tweak, and more. Because of that, the map features many new scares, dangers, and ghosts to be afraid of. Oh, I can see it! And I died. And like I teased in the previous section of the video, Ghosthunt 2 actually has an objective this time. You are lowered into this abandoned mineshaft in order to find 3 skulls, which you then have to put onto these pedestals. Yes. Yes. What? Once you've collected all the 3 skulls and, of course, survived, you beat the map. Now, with the first map already being a great success and the second map being made practically together with the Facepunch community, you can probably see that this map would have had some hype around it, and yes, yes it did. Not only was the map played by gaming influencers like PewDiePie and the Yogscast after it was released, but the moment that the map finally released to the public, both the Facepunch forums and garysmod.org, where you originally had to download add-ons for Garry's Mod, were down for around 20 minutes because people were mass downloading this map. It was insane. And now, finally, 13 years later, I'm covering it. I call that being fashionably late. Okay, to be fair to myself, I was 11 when this released and was too busy making stupid comedy sketch videos with my friends. Anyway, playing through Ghosthunt 2 is anything but comedy. It's a very spooky experience. While the first map already did a decent job setting the atmosphere, this map cranks it up a few notches. The atmospheric sounds are much better, and I don't know, but I feel like an abandoned mineshaft just does it better for me. You're underground, you're all alone in there. The way back to the top is long, and nobody will be able to hear you scream for sure because of the thick layer of rock and stone and other crap that sits between you and the surface. The scares are also taken up a notch, with the ghosts even showing off a little bit. Oh, hi. Not only that, they're also a whole heck of a lot more dangerous. While the first map had ghosts that could actually damage you, it could take a while before you'd actually be killed by one. But in Ghosthunt 2, you could die in seconds if you're not paying attention. What? This definitely drives the tension up a bit and makes you think about every step that you take. Luckily, you can grab the ghost detector. It helps detecting these anomalies for you. But I find that it doesn't really help you every single time though. Oh, and the camera is back again as well. Works about the same as last time. Now, how do you go about collecting the skulls to beat the map? Well, you have to search for them, of course. And you can find all of them pretty much by just exploring the map. Some are a bit trickier to find than others though. I swear I was playing this map for hours looking for the final damn skull, only to find out it was in an area I've been to 100 times before. There it is! It's over there! You then have to bring the skulls to an area that starts off being blocked off. In order to unblock it, you need to find two other items, a cog and a battery. Once you find the cog, you need to place it here to make this lever work again. Then inside this radioactive room, you'll find a battery that you can place right next to this door to get it open. Oh. We did that. Now you're free to enter the pedestal room. You gotta watch out though, because every time you place a skull, the map gets more and more traps. What's that? Oh! There's even some stuff that happens to your screen from time to time, like the screen going entirely black for a couple of seconds, or this white light appearing out of nowhere every so often. At first, this is fine, just another obstacle to deal with. But after a while of playing through the map, this just kind of becomes a little annoying. Stop it, man! I'm trying to beat this game. Just let me through. Usually when the screen goes dark, I would just wait in place until my vision comes back again. Not sure if this is the way it's intended to look, but this is what I experienced anyway. In fact, I actually started to lose my mind a little bit in this map. I kid you not that I actually played it for a pretty long time. And because the map is mostly dark, I could only really see what was directly inside of the cone of my flashlight, giving me a bit of tunnel vision after a while. I mean, we are in tunnels after all, but that's not what I mean. You know what I mean. Now, you are probably not supposed to play the map for a very significant long time, but still. You bet I was quite glad when I finally collected all the skulls and beat the map. There's really nothing that happens when you beat it though. I made my way back to the control room and that was kind of it. You just gotta pat yourself on the back and move on again. Maybe get yourself a sandwich. All in all, when I look back on this map, I do look back on it fondly. I just wished I wasn't struggling as hard to find that final skull. And I know that's kind of my own fault for, well, not looking in the right places, I suppose. Maybe if I went through it a bit faster, I wouldn't have gotten so grumpy from the tunnel vision. But hey, at least I was able to really soak in everything the map has to offer. Oh, and one more thing. I did stumble upon this room with a giant Ouija board inside of it. I tried to make sense out of it, but as much as I pulled this lever, it only really selected like new letters and nothing else really happened. I asked Breadman about this room, and apparently even he couldn't remember exactly what the point was to it. Maybe one of you know? Hey there! Before we go to the final entry in this video, I'd just like to thank you all for coming this far into it. I hope you're all having a fun but spooky time. If you really like this video, then be sure to subscribe. We're almost at 30,000 subscribers, and it would be really nice to reach that as soon as possible. No reason, I would just like that, you know? Alright, back to the video. And here we are, at the final entry of the Ghosthunt saga. At least, so far. Ghosthunt 3 was released back in 2015 and garnered at least the same amount of popularity as Ghosthunt 2. According to Breadman, the map went through at least 3 iterations and around 2 years of on and off development before it was finally considered finished. It takes place inside of some kind of Arctic base where people are no longer working apparently, and to be quite frank, we don't want to be here either. We got some spookiness. Oh, I see the spooky. Oh, that's very spooky. Yeah. So our objective is to signal a helicopter to take us out of here. That won't go super easily though. Of course it won't. We have to find 2 objects. This keypad thingy and this high-tech toasty maker looking thing. Once we get those, we have to bring them to this room, insert them into this computer, and then we can finally signal for our lift out of here. And like with the previous maps, there are things inhabiting this place that are making it a lot harder for you. Hey, buddy! Ouch. The hauntings, ghosts, and scares have been dialed up to 11 in this iteration of Ghosthunt. Not only are they scarier, and there are mannequins now, not just standard Half-Life 2 NPCs, but according to Breadman, he introduced a new scare to this map that the other ones didn't have. NPCs. They will spawn at random, seek you out, and scare the poopies out of you if you're not paying attention. Mate. No. Don't. No. It's pretty neat and could serve as a genuinely random scare every once in a while. The ghosts have been made a lot tamer this time around as well. Whereas in the previous Ghosthunt, we would get killed a lot. But in Ghosthunt 3, this is a lot less of a problem. Ghosts can still hurt you, but most of the time you'll be able to get away with just a few HP scraped off. What also makes Ghosthunt 3 interesting is that it actually has another hazard to look out for. The temperature of the place. Look, it's the Arctic. It's cold, boy! Alongside the normal ghost detector and movable camera you get at the start of every Ghosthunt map, all across the map you can also find these fuel tanks. You will need these tanks to fill up this machine that will keep the temperature throughout the facility bearable. Once a tank runs out of fuel, you gotta put a freshie in. Otherwise, well, you freeze to death. So yeah, this makes the map even more interesting and a little harder. I guess this is probably why Breadman decided to not make the ghosts as lethal anymore, huh? Okay, I will admit something here. I turned this mechanic off. Purely because I thought this mechanic was more so meant to be enjoyed with multiple people. You know, you and the others explore the facility while a friend stays behind and makes sure the temperature machine keeps pumping out hot air. Because I found that having to go all the way back all the time with the fuel tanks I found was a bit tedious and would take a long time. And once the machine is off and you start freezing, I thought there wouldn't be enough time to make it back to the machine with a fresh tank. Then I played the map more, and some doors opened up that would allow me to easily return to the temperature machine area. So yeah, it might be more possible and bearable than I initially thought. In fact, in general, I really like this map a bunch more. You never really know what's around the next corner, and it somehow feels bigger than ever before. And you got some super interesting areas to explore, like these big warehouses, underground tunnels, big machine rooms, and these cells of some kind. What? Why are these here? Probably nothing we need to worry about. There we go, now all of them are open. I think that's okay. Yeah, this was a mistake. I could tell. Oh. Oh. Are you kidding me? Oh, what? Okay. And then there is this hallway where this mannequin is teasing you, I guess? Oh. Hello there. Here, have a boot. It does nothing. What? Really? And then there is this hallway. Oop. Well, that's closed now. This is also closed. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh. Mate. What? What's happening? Oh no, what is happening? Yeah, this map has a bunch more interesting stuff in it, huh? Not that the other maps we played in this video weren't any good, but this one takes the cake for me. I do have a few gripes with the map though. For one, there aren't really any checkpoints or anything. You basically rely on quick saving the entire time. To be fair though, the board outside of the map telling you some info about it says to do just that, so yeah, at least we've been warned. And then there are the items you gotta find. It takes a pretty long time to actually find the first item. But hey, don't worry. You won't have to search for the second one for too long because it's right next to the first item. Yeah. Okay, sure. So I looked into this and apparently they're supposed to be more spread out and in random locations, but due to a bug, they could also just appear in the same place. I just so happened to find them like this. Hey, here you go. Oh, both items are here? From that point onward, it was pretty easy to just bring the items to the computer room, insert them, and call for help. I did it! Boop. Rescue chopper arrives in 1 minute. Ah, music to my ears. I decided to wait in this room for a bit, and apart from some poltergeist shenanigans, nothing really happened. I then walked back to the starting area, saw the helicopter outside, went through these doors, and that's where the map concluded. I'm glad it does have a proper ending though. But yeah, I expected a bit more for the final stretch of going back to the starting area. Like more ghosts blocking my path, like one final big ghost haunting me, or something. No, please! Ah, I'm stuck! God damn it, Source engine props! But hey, we made it out. And that also concludes our journey through all of Breadman's Ghosthunt maps. Okay, so out of all the 3 Ghosthunt maps discussed in this video, which one do I think is the best? Well, for me, it's gotta be Ghosthunt 3. It just appealed to me a bit more, and I thought the location was a bit more interesting. I also thought it had the most interesting scares, and I like how it had an actual ending. Ghosthunt 2 is my second pick because I did like the atmosphere of the place. Abandoned mineshafts are just a surefire way to scare the shit out of me. It's only not my first choice here because of all the instant deaths you face while playing the map and all the random screen effects that just end up being kind of annoying in my opinion. And with the instant deaths, there was just too much trial and error involved here, which I'm personally not too much of a fan of. According to Breadman though, this is his favorite map. And then there is quaint old Ghosthunt 1, where it all started. A really good start to a legendary series of maps, but since it's the first one, it also feels the least refined in my opinion. Yeah, it's pretty neat exploring the abandoned hospital, but after a while, you just want something to do. I think getting through the entire map once is really nice, but after that, you might get bored pretty quick. Unless you're with friends. Everything is more fun with friends. And those were all the 3 Ghosthunt maps. But now you might be wondering if there was ever a 4th map planned, and luckily, Breadman answers this for us. There was a 4th map planned, called GM Ghosthunt White Forest. It was supposed to take place inside of a long-abandoned White Forest base. The same base that you visit in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. But due to Breadman focusing on the first Entropy 0 game, the project lost traction. Alright, and now to end the video, I got 2 more questions that I asked the Breadman that I just really don't know where to put in this video, so I just put them here. I asked Breadman if he would have done anything differently while developing all of these Ghost Hunt maps, and he told me that he would have loved to include Lua scripting. That would have made a huge difference, and it could have been used to do more things to scare the players. Lastly, I asked him if he had any tips and tricks for mappers making similar maps to these Ghost Hunt maps, and he had the following to say. Things like darkness, use of lighting and sound, and creating an atmosphere help. But to really put players on edge, you need to build anticipation without showing your hand. Random events were a good way of achieving this in the GH maps because as a player, you know things were going to happen, you just didn't know when or where. Something could happen at any moment. I also played with the concept of giving players a false sense of security. In the GH maps, the camera rooms and spawn areas feel like they're excluded from events, but they are not. The best thing you can do is subvert your players' expectations to make them feel insecure. Noises that play from behind you, hearing things moving in rooms you can't see are other examples. That sounds pretty useful. I hope that inspires people to go and make their own maps like these. Massive thanks to Breadman for answering these questions for me. And that's it. This was this year's Halloween video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's been a bit and a half since I uploaded my last video. My day job got really busy lately and honestly, I just got pretty tired. But yeah, at least I'm on time for Halloween, huh? Again, if you liked this video, then don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell so you'll always be notified when I upload next. And don't forget to like the video either. It helps me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Salutations, take care, and have a happy Halloween.
LambdaGeneration.